Hello, and welcome to another challenge. We're on day 24, one day before Christmas, and we're in a new section post exploitation, learning from the Grinch. Let me start the machine, and it opened in split view. Now, McSkitty has learned a lot about how Grinch Enterprises operates and wants to prepare for any future attacks from anyone who hates Christmas. From a forensic analysis they did, she noticed that the Grinch Enterprises performed some malicious activities. She wants to perform these on the same machine they compromised to understand her adversaries a little better. Can you follow along and help her prepare for any other attacks? So, in this challenge, we're going to learn about post exploitation, how passwords are stored on Windows, dumping password from LSAS process, and crack password hashes. So, post exploitation. This stage occurs after an attacker has gained unauthorized access to a system. During this stage, an attacker is aiming to escalate their privileges. So, you want to try to obtain sensitive information or critical functionality that is only available to higher privileged users and maintain persistence within the target environment. So maintain persistence, you want to maintain access to your target. You don't want to lose access. So that's what that means. So the information retrieved in the post-exploitation stage allows attackers to enumerate, find, identify, and exploit other components on the broader environment network. So suppose an attacker has compromised a system that stores HR information. In that case, they can use the employee names and details to carry out social engineering attacks, such as phishing, against these employees. In this case, we'll be looking at a common post-exploitation scenario when an attacker has gained access to a privileged user in Windows. It is prevalent for attackers to dump password hashes and crack them to retrieve clear text user passwords. So we need to talk about password hashing and how to authenticate in Windows before we could get started. So password hashing represents the original password that is converted to another form. Hashing, the password applies a one-way transformation to change the clear text password to a form that cannot easily be recognized. When a string is provided to a hash function, the output of this hash function is a fixed length string that is unique for the input provided. So there are various algorithms such as MD5, SHA-1, these are insecure, do not use them, and SHA-256. So what you have is the input, the function, which is the hashing algorithm, and then the output of said input. So we have password 123. We put it into the MD5 hash, and now we have this string as the output. Now, authentication and hashing. Windows stores various credentials in the Security Accounts Manager database. Commonly, credentials such as user passwords are stored as hashes within the SAM database. So, the two most common hashes are the LAN Manager. This hash is the oldest form of a password storage used by Windows that are kept around for legacy systems. And then the NT LAN Manager, or the NTLM. Modern Windows systems use this hashing algorithm to store passwords. So when a user logs onto a local Windows machine, the Local Security Authority Subsystem Service, or LSAS process, retrieves the user's credentials from the SAM database. It compares this against the hash form of the user's password. If these match, then the user can successfully log in. So once the user successfully logs in, the LSAS process stores the user's credentials in memory. This is designed out of convenience. When users access other resources, they don't need to enter their credentials constantly, but the LSAS process uses the credentials stored in memory for various actions. So, we're going to dump password hashes, and I have started the virtual machine, the attack machine. So what I'm going to do is I am going to start PowerShell, and I'm going to go, oops, desktop. And what we're going to use a tool called Mimikatz, and it's used to extract different kinds of credentials from memory and use these credentials to access user accounts. So for this exercise, we'll be using the Succursula module. So let's run Mimikatz. So it's running, and now let us say privilege debug, and it gave us a OK. So this is to check if we have the appropriate privileges to run the program, and we do. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to use, we're going to dump the password from the LSAS memory using the Succursula module. So what we're going to say Succursula, and I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but that's fine. Log on passwords. Oh, I added an extra R. That was not needed because it couldn't find it. Okay. Now, this has dumped the passwords in memory. So if I go up, we see we have an NTLM and a SHA-1 for Emily. So let's see if we can answer a question. Emily. Okay, what is the NTLM? It is this. This is the NTLM. Okay, now we need to crack it, and we are going to use John the Ripper. And John the Ripper is used to crack password hashes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say echo. Okay. NTLM hash.txt. So if, oh, and I did not spell that right. So if I say cat in ntml dot, oh, now I'm going to move nt to ntlm hash. Okay, so I changed the file. So I didn't spell it correctly, and then I just changed the file name. Now we're going to use John, and we're going to say John word list equals user share rock you, and then we're going to say NTLM and format equals NT to say this is an NTLM, and then output and then this is the password. So the pot represents the output file that the clear text retrieve password will be stored in. So if we say cat NTLM output, it now has NTLM or hash and then the password. So this is the password and it matches that right there. So as you can see, John the Ripper is very fast for very weak passwords. It did that in less than a second. It cracked it very quickly. So this video, this challenge was very short, but it was just to explain how passwords are stored in Windows and how we can use Mimikatz and the Succursula module to look at the NTLM and the SHA-1 hashes and then use John to crack them. So I hope you have learned a lot in this challenge, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.